say that you want a stamina vial a hero. You're at the beach, right? You're at the beach and you hear that you're going to need some high-level archers, some high-level seers for the next hunt. And you're like, man, I don't have much time, or there's a tournament or whatever. I got 6 days. I need to get this guy to level 20. All you have to do is you put the hero ID in the sheet. You click that little check mark that says stamina inject, enabled right there, the purple one, and bam, you're done. The AI will go nuts, violating that hero over and over and over and over and over, and questing them and leveling until they get to where you want them to get. But yeah, is there anything specific?
That was no. That was a wonderful lead up as to, and we even have Skiller in the chat saying, "What? I didn't know that. He didn't know that if you just even if you blindly throw 100 heroes in there, the AI is going to have to make decisions, right? And put you in the best position that it can." And I already stated earlier, the AI already has better luck than I do, right? When it comes to setting up and completing.
I don't think it's luck. I think it's timing and logic. Because, the luck system is based on random chance. And that random chance is predicated on block numbers, as far as we know. And, that's why there's a start and a finish. It's because we need some randomization.
Yeah.
And the AI is able to basically put, like, if you're doing it in the game manually, you're going to be doing, like, let's say 20 start quests at the same time, 20 completes at the same time, that kind of thing. But then what happens is that you're using very homogeneous blocks, which is great if those are good blocks to have. So, for example, what you'll see in the game is that if you get one egg and, like, at the same time you're completing multiple quests, you're going to get several eggs, meaning you're going to get one in this quest, one in the next quest, one in the next quest. It's like that. When it hits together. We see that often. And anyway, the AI just, it spreads it out 24/7, so that you're getting your toe wet at every opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like, okay, just like how LCK luck is still a mathematical equation within the game as you play, the way the AI goes about executing its movements and transactions is also calculated in a way. So luck isn't really luck, it's being able to execute within the proper moments, right? So even in real life, when I found a lucky dollar, right? It was the right set of circumstances, math,
right time, right place,
that had to happen for you to, for you to get there. So
it's like gambling, if you go and you bet everything on one roulette, number 4, red number 4, you might lose everything and you're out of there in like 5 seconds. You came in, you're out of the game. But, if you spread it out, you do it little by little, you think about it, you observe, you consider the statistics.
Yeah.
So to go beyond what you're saying, consider the other features, like the avoid unprofitable questing feature, right? I don't know if you've noticed, but that has caused gas to go down from the typical 20s that we used to have to now it's averaging like 8. We see it go up to 10, and that's just about it. Then it drops down again. In the middle of the night, you might see it at 5. So what's happening is it's so cool. It's so cool to watch. So it's like this. The AI is checking the market price of every quest reward in real time in each realm. And as those prices fluctuate, it calculates what you need to break even as far as gas costs. So it knows roughly how many gas units for computation a transaction will take, like complete this fishing quest with 6 heroes. And it considers against that what the value of the rewards you're going to win on average are. And on average means a couple thousand quests, right? Which means you might get, 5 mokshas today and none for the next 2 months. That's kind of how that works. But on average, so it calculates this. And what's cool is that it causes, so before we used to have situations So let me say something else. Trying to find a different angle. So it's not just about the gas price. We're okay with paying any gas price, right? So long as the rewards are good for that gas price. Anything, even if it's $50 to do a transaction or a cent, we'll do it if there's a good chance we'll make something off of that. And which is the case, with other games that are on L1s and whatnot. You have to pay big money to do anything, but the rewards are great. So how do we make sure that the rewards are great? By making sure that the items have a proper supply and demand structure, right? We don't want supply to exceed demand. And while we're waiting for consumption and all this stuff, there are already things in the game that we can use to balance it out. So an example of this is we don't just have to dump items into the trader. We can use the bazaar. People have orders in there. We can fulfill them. We can buy from there as well. And the other thing is the gold vendor, right? So the gold vendor has what do you call them? Minimum safe numbers. It's like a government subsidy, right? the price of this will never drop below this because gold will be printed, to cover it. So what the AI is doing when it's selling and buying everybody's stuff is it's checking all three markets, right? It's checking the trader, the vendor, and the bazaar, and is finding the best deal.
Wow.
And it's doing it over and over and over across all the accounts. So what happens is the velocity of the items is very high. Like if everybody that's playing the game right now played manually without automation, maybe they'd go in once a week, once every 2 weeks, and sell, their 80,000 ragweeds and 150,000 iron scale. And the moment they did that, the slippage would go nuts, which is what used to happen in the past. Slippage would go nuts. They suffer. Everybody suffers. The market tanks. Other people that sell a couple of minutes later, they get screwed on the price. So then their stuff becomes unprofitable. They quit. That kind of thing. So we don't want that. We want stuff to be moving around. In a healthy economy, stuff is swapping hands constantly from those that want it to those that don't want it. And so that's what it's doing. And in doing so, it maintains like a much more stable price structure. So ever since the avoid unprofitable questing was put into place, what's happened, I don't know if you've noticed, is that the price of items has become more stable and more bullish. And the reason for this is that the AI, it's not just deciding, I'm not going to do any quests. No. It's looking at each individual quest. So for example, it's like, what? Foraging right now, it's not bringing very much. Swift Thistle is super low. So we're going to avoid the foraging, which coincidentally is going to cause you to not lose money on gas on doing it, but also it's going to cause the supply of the Swift Thistle and that to freeze, right? Which will bring the demand back into play, and then it becomes profitable again. Not just for you, we're talking about the entire chain, right? The entire ecosystem. Maybe it's really profitable to do gold. Like for example, in Serendale. On Serendale currently, every quest brings in a loss except gold mining. So obviously you would want to gold mine there, but maybe not do anything else. Yes. Maybe you keep some foragers there, but with the avoid unprofitable, they're waiting for the right moment. They're waiting for that Swift Thistle to go up, or they're waiting for gas to go down. So yeah, that's been the effect of this thing.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. That was beautifully said, beautifully put together. I think in terms of sentiment towards automation, towards and there wasn't even an AI sentiment related to Defikingdoms at all until DFK Helper came in. But before, the sentiment was kind of like, I don't know. But to hear you speak on this, and I already had my general thought process of and theory of economic hardening theory, and this is a theory that's based on stability, a theory that's based on security, a theory that's based on time.
Prosperity right there.
Right. Time and ecosystem structure and business structure and the cycles in which economic markets go through, right? And so, with DeFi Kingdoms, we had an early economic boom based upon some certain market incentives. But a market that's going through a maturation age has to leave a cycle and start a new one. And as you're developing and you have tools, time only becomes a benefit if the economic structure you have is set up for long-term economic growth, even though you're going to go through your ups and downs in terms of market value. And so seeing and hearing that the AI is a positive proponent to an economic hardening theory that is meant to provide stability and less of the negative volatility. Volatility is not bad. Volatility is good, but there's also negative volatility.
Opportunities.
Seeing that the AI and DFK Helper can be an aid and proponent to that only makes me more bullish. And only gives me more ideas to go back to my spreadsheet, reanalyze, what I have going on. And you also give feedback as to, hey, this is how you can possibly make your AI better, right? You told me I don't have enough gardeners. So now I'm going to go back and take a look and see what I have to do, because I'm forever buying floor heroes because of my opinion, how undervalued they are and how much of a restarting point that floor heroes give you, right? Because for these accounts, the more floor heroes I have, the more use I can have with my moksha runes when they land, because I don't have to use it for my floor heroes, right? Especially those early level 1 individuals. So super, super bullish to hear your viewpoint. It correlates with the economic hardening theory that I speak of, and I'm going to start including DFK Helper and the AI within that economic hardening theory, knowing just how efficient it is and how much of a positive proponent it is to the overall longevity.